word around here. If you want my picks and my plays, well, I'm going to just save you some time. You're going to want to click off now. This won't be the show for you. But if you ever want to be your own big kid and put on your own little big kid pants and learn how to think for yourself, this might just be the stream for you. If you find you like the cut of my jib, I encourage you to come check out that schedule right there. I go live every Monday and Thursday for Monday night and Thursday night football right here, noon, Lord's time zone, as always. And I do my Saturday night stream for NFL, 7 o'clock in the Lord's time zone. I also do some college football and some PGA. So if you're into that, you sweaty try hard, I encourage you to come take it out. Check it out even. All right. Let's see. You're going to want to know this. For every 50 likes we get over there, I will be drawing. By the way, editor, I can't see the number of likes. That's going to be a bit of a bitch. Okay, so for every 50 likes we get, I will draw a ticket. I will draw a name from the chat. Just ask a question. No more than 2. I will boot your ass. And the winners will build the lineup with me tonight, and I will go put it in the main contest and try to go win. I believe it's $500,000 tonight. So let's go get it. Get in there. Let's have some fun. Let's get going. Let's talk contest selection. And here we go. Yes, it is $500,000. Look, okay, here's the big contest tonight. It's a 2-game slate, by the way, which I love 2-game slates more than a 1-game slate. That's just me. I know some of you love Showdown. We'll just go play the individual games, Bob. But for the main contest tonight, look at this thing. This thing sucks. This contest sucks, okay? Look, there's 3 kinds of people that should play in this. 3 kinds of people. Number 1, people that play 150 entries, right? Okay. Number 2, the guy that's like, I just got my one lineup. I'm just going to throw it in there. I'm just going to pray, right? And then number 3 are fucking morons. Those are the 3 kinds of people that should be in this contest. Ask yourself, are you any of those 3 guys? Because if you're not, you shouldn't be in this contest. There you go. Just saved you a lot of time, pal. So stay the fuck out of that contest. Thank me later. I really just want to challenge you on this. Contest selection is such an important part of being able to sustain your bankroll. The key to DFS is sustaining your bankroll long enough until you can finally hit a good lineup, right? Hit that big one, and then it can offset all those losses. Here's what I do. Lose. Big spike win, right? No one tells you this in the DFS community, but you're losing 80% of the time of slates that you play, and that's if you're really good. The answer might be closer to 90%. The key is to keep those losses to flesh wounds, and the best way you can do that is to be in sustainable contest without a fucking million entries in it, and give yourself chances to keep hitting min cashes. When you hit a good lineup or a really good lineup, go get a nice 10x your money, and that can offset a lot of weeks. And also what it does is on those slates, instead of losing 99% of your money because you're playing in the stupid lottery, you can survive and maybe only lose half of your money, right? And you're like, well, I don't want to lose at all. Well, let me just tell you, a great mathematician once said that losing 50% of your money is a lot better than losing 99%, and it will keep you sustainable long enough to hit a big one. That is the first place you're blowing your money. Try to get in flat payout structures, okay? Try to get in contests where you don't have to hit the stone cold nuts to win, right? And another thing is, so many of you will go play in this one tonight, and I guarantee you the winner of this will be a dupe of like 58 people, right? Whereas if you would just go play in a smaller contest, you might ship that bitch by yourself playing the exact same lineup, okay? So keep those things in mind when you're building your strategy for what contest you're going to play in, because it should all start with what contest you want to play in, right? From there, I don't have much more else to add. Okay, get into good contest. That's where you're killing yourself. The other thing is, you've got to have a place where you can have good ownership and good projections, because to try to play NFL DFS today without reliable ownership and without reliable projections, just know you are playing an uphill battle, Icarus. Okay, no, Icarus, the one that went too close to the sun. Atlas, who the hell was the one pushing the mountain up the rock up the mountain? Sisyphus, let's go. I can't believe I just thought of that. Okay, so if you need good projections, just right here, look at this. This guy right here, Sweaty Tryhard, Degenerate 75, the sweatiest of the sweaty tryhards. Look, all my projections are in there, right? I have all my own projections. Well, the fucking editor needs to go upload them, donkey dick, but they are in there, right? For tonight's slate, for all of the slates, I do PGA, I do college football, I do NFL, I do ownership, I do them all. They are homemade. You're going to be seeing them over on the Rosetta Stone in a little bit. And here's the best part. You get this optimizer called the solver. And when you use the solver, it makes the best versions of your player pool, right? Just because you have good projections, that doesn't solve all your problems. You still have to build your own player pool, come up with your own scripts. But once you come up with that player pool, the solver will build the best versions of that player pool to make sure that you are getting the most optimized lineups you can have out of your player pool, okay? So you're thinking, hey, man, that sounds cool, but I just can't afford it, bro. Dude, it's $24.99 a month if you just want to do NFL. If you just want one sport, use my little symbol right there, that Showdown Hoedown symbol. And not only do you get access to the optimizer, then it will preload all of my projections and all of my ownership for every single NFL slate, everything you need. I'm telling you, check it out. You won't regret. So many people are like, man, I was a little reluctant to try, but when I did, I can't even remember what life's like before it. Okay, I didn't know how much I needed it until I needed it. I'm telling you, you don't know. If you're hand building one lineup, you could make the argument that maybe you don't need it. But even then, I think it is really important to see what the optimized lineup is, right? If you're playing cash and you're not looking at the optimized lineup, I don't think you're playing cash. You're playing lose money is what you're playing, pal. All right, let's get to this slate. We have a 2-game slate tonight. Once again, there's still no buys yet in the NFL because, I don't think they start till week 4, right? So after this week, we'll just start getting back to our normal Monday night single game, right? I'm pretty sure. I haven't actually looked at the schedule because I live day to day. Just live in the moment, you motherfucker. 2-game slate tonight. I think that we got to lead with the biggest news. The biggest news is Joe Burrow does seem to be trending towards playing. I'm pretty sure I just saw a tweet that said that he will play. So I went from thinking he was about 40% to play to now I think he's about 98% to play, right? Unless there's some weird setback in the pregame warmup, I think Joe Burrow is playing. And to me, that dramatically changes the slate. Okay, dramatically changes the slate. Why do I say that? Because if Joe Burrow was going to be out and Jake Browning, Washington? Oh, God, that guy sucks. Anyways, if he was going to be the quarterback, now you take this game down here, this Rams and Bengals game, and I think it's almost unplayable as a stackable game, right? Because Jake Browning, they have an upside of, 13 points maybe, but now that you have Burrow, this game right here has real shootout potential. And on the flip side of that, this Eagles and Bucks game now is not going to be the obvious game to stack, right? If Browning was going to be playing over Burrow, I think you would definitely want to stack the Eagles and the Bucks game. It just has a much bigger chance of shooting out. But with Burrow playing, I think there is a real argument and a real point to be made that this game down here is going to be the sneaky shootout game. Yes, it has a smaller implied total, but it has a more competitive total. And it has, I think a lot of it is being baked in that Cincinnati is, kind of been garbage through the first 2 games. But they're, I just truly believe that no team with that many studs can't figure it the F out. You know what I'm saying? So that is the biggest news that we have so far. So make your assumption that Joe Burrow is playing. And not only is it that Joe Burrow is playing and now he's an option to play, it's what Joe Burrow does to the value of guys like T. Higgins, to Jamar Chase, to Tyler Boyd, to Drew Samples, right? Like whatever, right? I'd like to sample another tight end if I could, okay? So that's the big news, okay? So let's go through this. I'm going to go over a couple things, some things to think about when you are considering the slate. Then we will answer your questions. That is what this show is. Let me get a swig of the cold brew. Look at that. It's new, and I'm still economy-sized cold brew. That's when you know you go hard in the paint. Starbucks, reach out to your boy. Sponsor me. They never reach out. Whatever. I'll just be okay. Let's start with the Eagles. The Eagles are a really good football team. There you go. I know. Hot takes off the top. Hot takes off the top. The Eagles are a good football team. They are wildly efficient at offense. But the big news with the Eagles is not that they're good. I think that that's pretty obvious news. Is that Kenneth Gainwell is back, right? Kenneth Gainwell being back changes things up. Yes. Boston Scott is out. So you think, oh, okay, I'll just like replace him. No, don't forget, Kenneth Gainwell was the starter for this team, and I think you're going to see him leading this backfield. I know we all, like all the ladies out there got a little excited about DeAndre Swift's big last game. But I truly should not think that you should expect to see DeAndre Swift get that kind of usage again that we saw him last week, right? Kenneth Gainwell would be, I think he is going to lead this backfield, right? I think DeAndre Swift will still get his 12 to 15 touches, and maybe he'll be wildly efficient like he would at the Lions, and he still gets a 25 burger on 13 touches, right? But to think that he is going to just have that guaranteed workload and he is just a free square, I think you're being very short-sighted. Kenneth Gainwell is going to see at least half of the work out of this backfield, and I think you'll still see Rashad Penny mixed in just a little bit, right? DeAndre Swift is going to be what DeAndre Swift is going to be for the rest of the year. He is going to get about 40 to 45% of the action out of that backfield, okay? So Kenneth Gainwell being back is big. Now, am I telling you not to play DeAndre Swift? No. I am just saying that Kenneth Gainwell and DeAndre Swift are both high upside guys that also have tremendously low floors just because of the fewer they're not going to get a ton of touches, right? I don't think either of them probably gets over 15 touches tonight. So you were counting on efficiency from these guys, all right? So can you play them together? You could, but I wouldn't. Okay, I think the play here is you come up with the narrative. You think the Eagles are going to be leading this game? I think that either one of them becomes very viable. They're going to be running the ball a lot. I think that you could count on Kenneth Gainwell to get a couple catches out of the backfield. If they fall in the box, you're probably going to need them in the lineup, right? But the real question is, what do we do with A.J. Brown? Have you ever heard the squeaky wheels, the one that gets the oil? A.J. Brown, he upset. How upset? Upset. And if you haven't seen, he's yelling at Jalen Hurts. But they're boys. They go to the zoo together and shit. All right, whatever with your stupid narratives. A.J. Brown, if you buy the narrative that the squeaky wheel gets the oil, then A.J. Brown is going to be a smash play tonight, right? Because Devontae Smith has been outpacing him pretty dramatically through these first couple games, right? And A.J. Brown, we know this. No one goes more nuclear than A.J. Brown, right? He's like a PGA Showdown guy. You just play Garrick Higo and know that he goes nuclear hot, all right? I'm sorry, all you golf people. You didn't get that. It was a really good reference. A.J. Brown is an all or nothing play, right? There is a chance that he's just going to continue to be frustrated. He gets so many of his passes are deep down the field that there's a lot of variance, right? Guys who get shorter passes offer you a much safer floor because the shorter passes get caught at a much higher rate. A.J. Brown's catches tend to be down the field, which kills your floor, but really gives you that mega upside because he could always go for 2 or 3 touchdowns and 150 yards. So I think the first question you got to do is ask yourself, is the A.J. Brown saga going to continue, or is the regression going to find its mean and he goes off tonight, right? But to me, the most interesting part of the Eagles is the most forgotten about part of their offense that's legitimate, and that's Dallas Goedert. He has been a complete no-show through the first 2 games of the season, but I'm telling you, the guy is on the field 94% of the time. He will start getting more than 4 targets, and Dallas Goedert's a legit top 6 tight end in the NFL. So if you're running Jalen Hurts stacks, maybe the way to do it is to get some Dallas Goedert, to get some A.J. Brown, as I think that they will be at a pretty big discount off of guys like Gainwell and Devontae Smith, okay? That's something to consider. They do have the highest total on the board. So if you're not considering any Eagles tonight, well, you're just not playing the game right, Broseph. Going over to Tampa Bay, I'm going to just let you know Baker Mayfield is my favorite player in NFL history. Well, college football history, and I just still love him in the NFL. But I'll just keep saying this. I don't think he's a great fantasy quarterback, although he does seem to keep proving me wrong every week so far this season. He has been pretty efficient. You can see we have him projected for almost 270 yards tonight, and he has good weapons. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are good receivers. I will tell you this. When it comes to his receivers, Mike Evans has clearly been the one getting more targets. But I think in the grand scheme of things, Chris Godwin is the guy that will end up getting more targets per game than Mike Evans, right? So once again, if you're just playing regression finds its mean, I think Chris Godwin is the more interesting target here to stack with Mayfield, as he is just a better receiver than Mike Evans. Yes, I get that Mike Evans has had the bigger games. I get that he is getting more targets. But Chris Godwin's on the field more. Chris Godwin's running more routes, and Chris Godwin's just better than Mike Evans. There you go. There's 3 facts for you, okay? Rashad White, I think, is an absolute stud. I love Rashad White. 5,900 on this slate is laughable, but you do got to know this. The Eagles have a really good run defense, right? So that's going to nerf him a little bit right there. But where he can offset that is he's just always on the field, right? He is on the field. He is getting passing downs. You can see he's getting 3.5 targets a game. He's on the field for 76% of the snaps. That's huge, huge workload. The problem you run into with Rashad White is, do the Bucs get really far behind in this game, and does he get in a negative script? If he does, I think that maybe that nerfs him a little bit. But if you think that the Bucs are going to be competitive or the Bucs are going to be ahead, Rashad White is probably as good of a play at running back as you could have on this slate, as he has the best workload. And, unlike Joe Mixon, he doesn't suck. I know it hurts me to say that about a Sooner, okay? Moving on with the Bucs, Cade Otton is a solid punt tight end, but once again, I just think that there's other tight ends on this slate that are basically the same price that are just obviously better plays than him, right? Lastly, if you wanted just the filthiest defense, maybe consider the Bucs defense, right? I'll always consider a home defense, okay, especially if they're going to be low owned and they're cheap, all right? Moving on to the second game, I'm just going to tell you, my initial instinct is this is the game to attack, right? This is the one I want to get after, and here's why I say this. First of all, I don't think there's any chance of a blowout in this game. I think it's going to be competitive. The Rams have been surprisingly efficient on offense this year, even without Cooper Kupp. I feel like they have a real good offense. I feel like everybody thought Matthew Stafford was dust, myself included, and he's not. He's playing really well. And Puka Nacua, I'm just going to tell you something. He's not a flash in the pan. The dude's a fucking badass. I could have told you this from watching him at BYU. He is incredible, okay? And if you're going to, he is going to probably get 12 targets tonight, minimum. The guy is just a target machine, and he catches everything, right? And he's a gamer. Oh yeah, and he can run the ball after he catches it. He is he's legit, and their offense, I don't want to say their offense is legit, but it's not near as bad as I thought it would be. And here's really why I want to target this game. I just refuse to believe that the Bengals can be this broken. When you have Joe Burrow, the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL, you have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, the best 1-2 wide receiver combo in the NFL. Okay, at least top 3. Okay, at least top 3. And then you have Joe Mixon, right? That's just too many weapons to not have a good offense. They're at home tonight. Surely they're going to get this figured out. If the Bengals can get back to scoring their 24, 27, 28 points a game and moving the ball 450 on offense yards, then you got to think that this is going to push the Rams. And we've already seen that Matthew Stafford can let it rip. We've already seen Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell are very efficient. Tyler Higbee always gets a fair amount of targets. Matthew Stafford just loves slow tight ends. And then I think that the guy you cannot forget about tonight is Kieran Williams. He's going to have an incredible workload tonight. You can see he's playing 80% of the snaps. Cam Akers, he gone. So you don't got to worry about him. So I really don't see how Kieran Williams is not on the field at least 80% of the plays, getting at least 4 or 5 targets, and probably a good, I would say 12 to 15 rushes, right? And the guy just has a nose for the end zone. Let's not forget that. Some guys just find their way into the end zones. If they're my guys, they always get tackled at the 1, and then the vulture comes in and takes it. But Kieran Williams, he smells that end zone. He gets in there, okay? So this game to me is the sneaky shootout game. I think more people are going to be inclined to want to, play 5, 6, 7 guys from this top game. I think that this is a game that you could stack and just run a couple pieces, maybe 2 or 3 pieces from this game, stack this game, and you're probably going to be a lot different than the field, right? I just think that that's what it's going to be. This game has the higher total. This game has the bigger name team in the Eagles, and these teams, there's a lot of questions about them, right? People think the Bengals are broken. People think that the Rams suck, but from what I've seen from the Rams, they have been very efficient on offense, and I am just going to buy at least one more week that at home against the Rams, the frickin' Bengals can figure out how to do offense. The last thing I want to tell you is these games are only an hour apart, so you're not going to have much time for late swap, right? Basically, the lineup you make is what you're going to be running with. I guess you can put some guys in this early game and see how they're going an hour in and then try to do it, but what are you going to know in an hour? It's going to be like early second quarter. You're not going to know shit about how that game's playing out. It won't be time to panic. It won't be time to be feeling confident either, okay? So I think that you're not gonna be able to play the late swap game much tonight, which kind of sucks, right? I wish this game was in LA and then they could have just did it like 2 or 3 hours later. So there you go. That is a breakdown of the slate tonight. That is the injury news. That is the guys to consider. I will tell you this, all these teams, which is crazy, all 4 of these teams, they don't really have 4th wide receivers to consider, right? Like the Eagles are basically throwing to 2 wide receivers and a tight end. Tampa Bay's basically throwing to 2 wide receivers and a tight end. The Rams are basically throwing to 2 wide receivers and a tight end. And the Bengals are basically just throwing to 3 wide receivers. So it's like every team only has 3 pass options. I really encourage you to do this. Don't think that you need to get cute tonight trying to get, like one of these punt wide receivers in there, right? Or one of these punt tight ends. This is not Showdown where you've got to get super different. You can be different simply by leaving a couple bucks on the table or by just constructing your roster different than everybody else is, right? One last thing I will tell you, on these short slates, I'm always interested in running the defense against the opposing quarterback, right? If I'm running Joe Burrow, I don't mind the Rams defense because 1 pick 6, right? Now you've got 8 points in the bag for your defense, and now Joe Burrow is in a favorable script. All right. Same thing with the Bucs. If I'm playing I don't mind playing the Bucs defense against the Eagles, right? If they do something good, that is going to they return a punt, they return a kickoff, they get a pick 6. All of those things are going to encourage Jalen Hurts to now have to play more up pace and score more points. On the flip side of that, I do not like to run my defenses opposite the running back, right? So if I'm running the Bucs defense, I'm not trying to stack them against Swift or Gainwell. If I'm running the Eagles defense, I'm not trying to play Rachaad White. Those 2 things are negatively correlated, okay? All right, let's get to the call. 166 people in here. Editor, I have no idea how many likes we have, so you're just going to have to be in charge of that because I don't see where the hell to see the likes. Editor, maybe you could tell me over here in the private chat what our likes are at so I can know how many we can do. And in the meantime, let's get to the drawings. But before we do, come check out dgen75.com. I want you to know this. dgen75.com is not like other sites, right? There's 3 basic things that we do. We're already at 101 likes, the editor says. So that's already 2 drawings. We'll get to those in just a second, editor. There's 3 big things we do. 3 big principles that I think separates dgen75.com from other sites out there. Number 1 is we focus on a thing called the process. All right. It is not about my plays and my picks, right? I try to help them with show my process and help them form their own process. If you ever want to be a big kid and wear your own big kid pants and make your own process that you do, that you tweak and that you are responsible for, and not just take some slapdick off the internet's picks, then I encourage you to check out my site because that's what we're about. Number 2, we are about the community. I celebrate all these winners. It's not about my wins. It's not about my moderators' wins. If you want to sign up to my site simply because it has my name on it and I win, I don't fucking want you anyways. It is about helping you win and celebrating your success, not about mine. I will never understand why other people do that. And lastly, there has to be a place out there that gives you all the tools and resources you need. Ownership, projections, the Rosetta Stone, everything you need to make your process be better, to help you with your efficiency without price gouging you. And that's what we do at dgen75.com. I encourage you to check it out. It is not like the other sites. If you want to try it out, but you're reluctant, go sign up for this newsletter right here, and then simply right down here, and they see the little scrolling bar. Yeah, we're fancy now, right? reach out to at the support DGens or support at support DGen75 on Twitter, and they will get you hooked up with a free week on the site. Why do I do it? Because every time somebody gets a free week on the site, it's like 90% they turn around and sign up the next week. It's a good little hustle, buddy. All right, you just don't know what you don't know what you're missing. All right, editor, in the chat for me, brother. Go draw me 2 winners. Let's see if we can get to 150 likes today, okay? If we get to 150, we will do a third drawing. While he draws those, I'm taking a swig. Cold Brew's smacking today. Cold Brew is smacking. All right, the Nightbot says, Green Tone has won the giveaway, and Matthew Benoit. Oh, Benoit. I'm French. I do have one there. Draw in you, French mind. All right, there you go. That's our 2 winners. If we get to 150 likes, editor, Crypto Poopers have 151. That's funny. If we get to 100 likes, we will do another one. All right, see you right there. Every 50 likes. Because I'm not a poor. You need to know that about me. All right, let's get to some questions. Give some people some time to drop the like. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Tell a friend because, YouTube ain't going to share my shit. They are sharing it more. I will tell you, this has been our biggest month ever. I appreciate every single one of you, you stinking mother fathers. All right, by the way, if you would just, oh, no audio. Good now. Oh, shit. There was no audio. Oh, fuck. Oh, sorry. Hey, it was our first time on StreamYard. At least it's not fucking lagging. All right, good. I'm glad that would have been really weird if this whole time there was no audio. All right, cool. I would literally just go cry in a corner. All right, hey, guys, you should save these questions till I cover everything. That would be real smart. All right, let's see here. Looking for questions. If I don't see a question mark, I'm not answering it. Burrow expected to play per Scheffner. Yeah, I feel pretty good he's going to play, right? Unless there's some weird setback, I expect him to play, and I'm going to be building my lineups around that assumption. And by the way, the fact that he's playing tonight makes me like this slate so much more. I'm not going to lie to you. Bill, I'm going to probably play more than I was planning on, right? I'm going to break my own rule. I got a little extra funds because college football has been real good to the big guy. Go watch the retrospective today. All right, Mr. Pentrini says, how much Puka Nacua is too much Puka chalk tonight? Should I wear my Puka? Look, I think Puka is as safe as a human being can be. He gets so much he gets so many targets. He is so good, and he's tough as fucking nails, right? So I'm telling you, look, I'm playing Puka Nacua chalk. I don't give a shit. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play him in a way that not everybody else is playing. What's a way you can play him that not everybody else is going to play him? I don't know. Maybe part of a Matthew Stafford stack, right? Or maybe play Stafford, Karen Williams, and Puka Nacua and hope all 3 of those guys eat against the Bengals, run it back with 2 Bengals. And right there, I think you were playing him in a way that not everybody else is playing him. On a 2-game slate, you are inevitably going to eat chalk. So what you do is you say, when I eat this chalk, how can I play this chalk different than everybody else's? That is the key. NFL is not PGA, guys. You are going to eat much more chalk at NFL than you are at PGA. By the way, editor, this thing's blocking my beautiful face. People are pissed off about this. No audio for all right, working now. There we go. We got to figure it out. Okay. Anybody else struggling to build NFL Showdown lineups for a strategy perspective? So to me, first of all, you got to realize that Showdown is super, super sharp, right? So much good NFL Showdown. This ain't PGA Showdown where everyone's like, I don't know nothing. Everybody understands how to do NFL Showdown. And to me, the only way to do it is to come up with narratives, particularly unique narratives, and then build lineups around that narrative, right? This is why I'm just not a big Showdown guy. I like Sunday main slate, and I like these 2- and 3-game slates way more than I like single game Showdown because I don't think there's a ton of edge to be had, and the contests suck. We getting different with this game? Stack 5 or 6 from the same game? Yes, Chad. I will be attacking one of these games harder than the other. I don't think you have to really think too hard to know which game that's going to be. But yeah, I want to stack one of the games heavier than the other. I will probably be doing a lot of 6-3 and 7-2 builds. That meaning you have 9 guys in a contest. 6 of them will be from the game I prefer, sometimes 7, and then just 2 or 3 from the other game, right? Specifically pieces that maybe grab the chalky pieces in that game and then go stack the other game and play some weirder pieces, right? What's up, you sweaty tryhard, you mother father? All right. Thank you for the content, sir. Any interest in Showdown or just Classic? I'll just be doing Classic tonight, Nikki. I don't think that the answer to this is just simple. That's just my personal preference. I enjoy multiple game slates, especially in that 2 to 3 game range, more than I enjoy a single game slate. But I think if you prefer Showdown, then don't play the main slate and go play Showdown, right? Everything we just talked about right here on the stone is still completely applicable to the single game Showdown slate, right? All right. 0 for 3 so far in NFL, not quitting. Dude, I'm 0 for 3. I haven't had a winning week yet. I don't care. I consistently get about 50% of my money. When you're playing all GPPs, you're going to lose, 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 and then you hit a big one. The key is to keep your head above water long enough to hit that big one. All right? Anybody that, if you're playing all GPPs and you think going 0 for 3 is weird, you just don't know anything. I know you see these guys on Twitter and they post their big screenshots, right? But they don't post all the fucking weeks they lose, do they? That's why I don't post mine when I win. I don't post mine when I lose. I'm just very open about it over on my site with my retrospective every week. If people understood the expectations and what it takes to grind out a profit at DFS, I think that it would really change a lot of your perspectives. Carl says, do you think the majority of the run pass plays are going to be funneled in the middle of the field tonight in the Philly Tampa Bay game? That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I really do. I don't know that there's going to be any more or any less, but if that's a narrative you have, I don't think so. Let's see. Gabriel says, thanks for the free lunch break. Is Hurts a free square? No, I think Hurts is a very good play. But to say that none of these other quarterbacks are viable, I think is short-sighted. Burrow, Stafford, I could get there. Especially if I think Jalen Hurts is probably going to be in the order of something like 50% owned tonight, right? I would bet his ownership is as high, if not more, than the other three combined. And on a 2-game slate, I'm always open to fading that, right? I will tell you this. If I fade Jalen Hurts, you best believe I'm probably grabbing some either Swift or Gainwell and hoping that they counterfeit him, right? And by counterfeit him, I mean like they run in the touchdowns, right? It's not always Jalen Hurts getting the 1-yard sneak. Although let's face it, if they're at the 1, he is definitely sneaking it in. These are facts. Burrow, since he's in, right? I don't mind Burrow at all. I just, once again, I am telling you, I have no reason to do this other than just believing that good of a player can't become bad. I am still buying on to the Bengals, even though my eyes tell me not to. To play Chase, is it just an ownership game tonight? Yeah, I think way more people will play AJ Brown and Devontae Smith over Chase. So maybe it's time to play him. That would be my answer to that. Let's see. Baker, the lowest owned quarterback tonight. Maybe. I have to go check my ownership, but I think it will be. I honestly think that Mayfield, Stafford, and Burrow will all be very low owned. Probably under 20% would be my guess. Let's see. Hello, I'm a moron. Well, you know what? You're at the right place. We help morons become unmoronic. All right, what solver rules do you like on 2-game slates? I'll probably have a rule in there that I want at least 6 guys. I'll do that like 6 guys from this game, no more than 3 from this game. I will also probably I want at least everybody other than Hurts, I would want to have at least 2 stacks, 2 wide receiver or pass catching stacks with my quarterback and at least 2 run backs, right? On a 2-game slate, I'm a big believer and you want at least a stack with 2 pass catchers and at least 2 guys run back. So that has 5. You throw in a defense. Now all of a sudden you are at 6 guys in that game, right? Did you have another Eagle at golf this weekend? No, I did not. Still at 1, but hey, I've got one, okay? All right, the 2-game slate, are you going to try to focus on the better game environment or just pieces? Yeah, so, I mean, first of all, the better game environment, I assume you're talking about Tampa Bay and the Eagles, but, like, I could see that game, both those teams running it. There is that chance. I'm going to play a little bit sneakier tonight, and I'll probably be stacking the later game for better or worse. For better or worse, that's what I'm going to do. Should Hurts be the main question for your card tonight? Yeah, to Hurts or not to Hurts. Look, playing Jalen Hurts makes the most sense. He is definitively the best quarterback on the slate. And if you play Jalen Hurts, you won't catch any slander from me. I get it. The NFL is super, super projectable compared to PGA, right? But whenever I play Jalen Hurts, I already tell myself, all right, I'm getting really weird with this build. How can I now use him to be different? And maybe the answer is you play Hurts and Gainwell, or Hurts and Swift, or Hurts and Swift and Goddard, right? Probably because I assume Goddard's going to be the lowest owned of his legitimate pass catchers, right? So if you're going to play Hurts, you got to ask yourself, how can I play him and be different than everybody else, okay? Because if you're just building a standard Jalen Hurts lineup, just know that you are basically going to be in 1v1s and 2v2s versus hundreds, if not thousands of people. Do you see any do you see any defense scoring 15 points or more in the flex? Man, projecting defenses is just a fool's errand. I'm not going to do it, but I would assume none of them score 15 points. Will Burrow be high owned tonight if he plays? He will not be high owned. People will be worried about the injury, and if people are going to pay $6,600 for him, I bet they just find the money to get to $8,000 Jalen Hurts. Your Baker bias aside, good play tonight. Yeah, look, if this game shoots out, Baker Mayfield could get there, right? And I'll just tell you though, I just never play Baker. It just hurts me too much to see him suck and to know that he's killing my DFS lineups. All right, on a 20 max, how many QB stacks do you use? Only 2? And I think on a 2-game slate, you could probably get away with just 1, bro. Why do you refer to Central Time Zone as the Lord's Time Zone? It's a joke I did a long time ago, and I just run with it, Bob. That's the answer. Okay. Matthew Learn, what's the best strategy for 3 max? 3 totally different lineups? No, I think I know this because I do 3 max almost every Showdown slate. I do 1 stack, and I make 3 different versions of that lineup. They're all very similar, sometimes just changing out 1 or 2 pieces between them, right? Editor, I wish this was easier to scroll down. Is DJin a sneaky trivia night legend? I am. I actually am the state champion of trivia in 2015 and the runner-up in 2019. I just sat there and I just jerk off the almanacs all day. Very sad. Very sad. I'm really good at trivia. It's not like that's the most neckbeard thing that I do is be good at trivia. All right, 20 max GPP 100% quarterback stack. I like that. C Floyd. I'll probably just be running 1 quarterback tonight. How awesome is the solver for helping the lineup build the process? I mean, honestly, I had no idea it could help me that much, Bill, until I did. Is anybody a Greek mythology game stronger than Degen? Yeah, Sisyphus was strong. That was a strong call by the big guy. All right, are you sliding your salary minimum much lower? No, I'll still probably use at least 49.6, right? At least 49.6 because there's some pretty expensive options on this slate, and I don't want to be leaving too much money on the table. How often do you tend to stack a defense versus your quarterback in a 2-game slate? I would say over half the time. On a main slate, I rarely do it, but on a 2-game slate, I really like that correlation. Let's see here. Stafford, Tutu, Kieran, a way to get different instead of Puka? Yeah, I think so. I think that Stafford and Kieran will not be a pairing you will see very often. I do think that is very different. Does Philadelphia have a good run defense? Oh, they roo good. Billy says 2 questions. What's your favorite build construction tonight? My favorite build construction is stacking Joe Burrow. And how do you feel about the Eagles and Eagles overstack? Well, look, here's the problem with Jalen Hurts. He already struggles to get 2 guys there very often because he just does so much with his legs and steals so many touchdowns with just his legs that for him to get 2 wide receivers there is not easy. And for him to get 3 of them there, tough. Tough. Okay, that's my concern. So I don't love it, Bob. What's the maximum of players you'd stack from 1 game? 7. Probably closer to 6, but I could see a 7 in the right situation. But 6 is probably where I'll land. I'll probably do a lot of 6-3 builds tonight. That Swift Gainwell going to get the TDs like the Dolphins did? I doubt it. I'll tell you what, Apollo King, I will PayPal you $10,000 if they combine for 8 touchdowns. Those 2 guys, okay, and 370 yards or 350, whatever it was. What would be your favorite quarterback? I think I'm going with Stafford to save some money. I like Stafford. I like both the quarterbacks in that late game. How many pivots do you shoot for in a 2-game slate? At least 2. At least 2 pivots, right? 2 guys that are going to be lower owned will get you dramatically different. Remember, you don't need to get crazy different. Randy says, let's ship it. Hey, don't forget, right at 1 o'clock after this, go check out Hoop and Tambo and their stream. They will be doing a Monday Night Football show too. It will be at the top of the hour. Go check them out. They are my brothers from another mother's, I think. I hope my mom didn't give birth to Tambo. All right, how many pivots do you shoot in each GP? Oh, wait, I already answered that. Fucking Bill just in here doubling down on the questions. All right, what would you consider high ownership in a 2-game slate? Over 30%, right? 30% is kind of what I would consider high. Slow, sloggy game for Rams and Bengals. Jorge, definitely a possibility, right? And I think that is the narrative, that this game will be slower and sloggier than this game. But I think you can make the argument that maybe the Eagles and the Tampa Bay game was slow and sloggy. And at least that one is a counter narrative. Does double tight end from Tampa Bay Philly get you different enough? Oh, definitely. A double tight end will always be different. Even on a 2-game slate, hardly anybody, I would guess less than 5% of lineups will go with a tight end in the not in the super flex. Sorry, college football in the flex. Okay, so yeah, Ryan, that is a way to definitely get different. Nick says, is there a path to fading Puka? Yeah, a path to losing money. No, you can always fade a guy, right? But I'm just telling you, that guy, he real good, Nick. You should know that from Cash last year at college football. What do you think is the most common build in Showdown for the Rams game tonight? Sorry, I'm late. What do you think the most common build in Showdown for a Rams game tonight? Oh, yeah, it'll probably be 4-2 Cincinnati builds. 4-2 Cincinnati builds, definitely. All right. Double tight end, a good way to get different. Yes, it is, Mr. Frenchman. Oh, don't forget to reach out to me. We will be lined tonight, you Frenchman. All right. I got a very froggy French guy. All right. Is Godwin's Baker guy or what? I think that if I had to choose, I would take Godwin over Evans tonight, right? I think most people are going to continue to go Evans based on the first 2 weeks, but I also think that Godwin is just objectively better than him, pal. Editor, where are we at on likes? Are we up to 150? I haven't checked them, editor. Let's see. Editor says we're 134 likes. That's what the editor just sent me. He said, get your ass a like in, you mother fathers. All right, let's see here. Can you talk about FanDuel? Yeah. Don't play it. There you go. No. Look, the thing with FanDuel is everything we talk about with DraftKings is applicable to FanDuel. They have a 2-game slate tonight. The same plays apply. The same strategy applies. The same ownership is generally the same. So outside of some crazy different pricing between the two sites, there's not a lot to talk about. And Leo, here's the thing. Why do I not talk more about FanDuel? Well, first of all, DraftKings takes care of me and actually has a good relationship and cares about the people that promote their product. FanDuel has just fucking quit on DFS. And second of all, I only have so many fucking minutes in this show, so FanDuel kind of gets kicked to the side, okay? But I think almost everything you do, by the way, I do projections for FanDuel. I do a stone for FanDuel, so everything you need is there. Considering 2 tight end approach tonight. Don't hate it, Mark. Don't hate it. Okay? All right. Let's see. Looking at, you guys gotta hurry. You only got I'm giving you till like 12:38 to get to 150 likes, and I'm out like a fat kid in dodgeball. I had a chain Mostert and Keenan yesterday. No lineups with all 3. Does that make you feel any better? Yeah, I mean, I had wait, you played a chain and Mostert? That's pretty good. I had some really good plays yesterday. Just didn't have them all in the right one. I felt very good. I saw that the stacks that I went with yesterday were Stroud and Goff, and both of them won different major GPPs yesterday. So I knew that I was on the right path. Just didn't have all the right pieces, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. Had some good lineups. Just played too much Bijan and Pollard, and they kind of sucked. There you go. I spent the money on the wrong place there. Stafford, Kieran, Puka, Atwell in a single lineup. Yeah, I think you could do that. And I'll tell you what, Adam, nobody's going to be on there. And if that game shoots out, you probably run it back with Chase and, hell, maybe even Mixon or something like that. I think that'd be a really good 6-person build that nobody will be on, right? It's time to get sneaky. I mean, look, if you're playing in a contest with 1,000 people, you don't have to be super sneaky. When I talk about being super sneaky, please hear me on this. This is a really important point to the 200 of you that are in here right now, okay? You only need to get super sneaky if you're playing in the mega contest, right? If you're playing in a contest with 500, 1,000, maybe even 2,000 people, you really only need to make a pivot or two, right? You don't got to be like, I'm going to play the weirdest lineup ever. Why? If that crazy weird lineup hits, you don't want to beat 1,000 people. You want to beat 100,000 people. So think about the contest you're in. And the smaller the contest, right? So 500 people, 1,000 people, you only need to make a strategic pivot or two, and you don't got to be crazy different. Whereas if you were playing in the big mega ones and you don't want to chop it with 58 fuckheads, well, then you probably want to build a really weird lineup. Okay, that's where you want to do it. The bigger the contest, the weirder you need to get. That is a really good lesson. I should have saved that for my pro tips on Saturday night. Isn't leaving salary the best way to get different? Yeah, but here's the problem with that, Nicholas. Sometimes leaving salary means leaving value out there. And if you leave value out there, well, then a lot of times you could have just upgraded your lineup and made it better. But yes, nobody will leave $1,000 on the table. But I don't know if that's the best play. I would rather just use up most of my money, but build my roster different than other people. Because a lot of times that extra $1,000 can objectively get you to better plays, right? If all the Q tags on Tampa's D are out, does that change what you're thinking about tonight? Yeah, I don't know. I don't overreact to linemen and defensive guys being out as much as everybody else. I know that it does have some impact, but I don't think it has as big of an impact as a lot of people play it up to be. So I don't think so. Anyone like the Burrow Bengals Super Bowl revenge narrative? They go out and blow them out. I mean, you could play a Bengals blow them out and then just play one Rams receiver and then go play a bunch of Eagles. I actually don't hate that. I don't hate that. That's not that bad. That's pretty good, actually. Nick says, why do we only have 142 likes with 200 people? Nick asks great questions. Editor, how many likes we at? Tell me over in the chat. Let's see here. Anyone? No, already did that one. In a small slate, are more looking into product ownership. In a small slate, are we looking more into product ownership? Yes, because I'm telling you, you don't need to be crazy different tonight, Brock. Have one or two guys under 10%. You'd be amazed what that does to the product ownership of your lineup. All you new guys out there, product ownership is something I talk about. I have it in my archive videos. Everybody just looks at cumulative ownership. That's if you just add up the ownership of every player in your lineup. And that is not the best way to measure how different your lineup is. The best way to really get a feel for what your lineup is multiply those ownerships of every person, right? So if you have a couple guys at under 10%, they dramatically change your product ownership because those guys are so much more differentiated than just simply adding up. You can go play guys at 50%, 50%, 50%. As long as you have a couple punts in there, you can get there, right? And be very, very different just by having one or two of those guys in there. Editor says we are 148 likes. I'm answering two more questions, and two more motherfathers better hit the like button. All right. Let's get those likes in. There we go. Joe Burrow. What if Joe Burrow just sucks? John, here's the answer to this, right? If he sucks tonight, I'm done with him. I really am. I'm getting so frustrated believing he can't be this bad. He can't be this bad, but maybe the calf injury is really affecting him, right? Maybe now that he got the money, he's just smoking cigars and eating hamburgers every day, right? So there you go. That is a narrative, but I just want to believe one more time, right? And it's not that I love Joe Burrow tonight. It's just like I just feel like there's enough equity in him still being good that it helps me get different tonight. That's the only reason I'm considering. The more I think about it, maybe I will play Jalen Hurts in one slap, maybe just a Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert, right? Just those two. Okay. And then I come down here and I just stack this game, right? So I'm still playing the Jalen Hurts chalk, but I'm playing in a way that everybody else is. I grab Jalen Hurts, I grab Dallas Goedert, I grab Chris Godwin, and then I come down here and I just pepper this game, right? So I can still run my stack from the game that I only have 3 people and just hope that Hurts gets a lot done with his legs, throws a touchdown or 2 to Goddard, and then I go get all in on this game and I still don't play Burrow, right? That's a really clever way to play it. That's how you can play the chalky Jalen Hurts and still be built different than everybody else, right? All right, editor, it looks like we got to 150 likes. Let's show one more name and let's get the frick out of here, you motherfathers. 151. All right, let's do it. All right, I don't care if some asshole dropped it. All right, Ryan diving. We're diving into some lineups, you motherfather. Guys, all of you winners, please reach out to me on the Twitters, or if you're a member over on the website, just simply shoot me a DM over on the Discord. Do not forget, if you want to just try out my site, just sign up for this fucking newsletter. Tell the editor right here in the little scroll down box down here, right there on Twitter. Look, you can email them or Twitter. So if you're an old, we still got the emails, okay? And come check it out, because I'm telling you, it is not like anywhere else. And once you're on it for a week, you're going to want to stick around. And oh, yeah, you don't have to freaking remortgage your house to sign up for my site. And don't forget, all of my winners reach out to me and go check out Tambo, Hoop, Titletown, who are about to do Ship It Nation at the top of the hour. They have a great Monday Night Football show. And, of course, be here tomorrow for me and Tambo show. Actually, it'll be over on Ship It Nation on Mayo Media Network. So look at me and Tambo tomorrow at noon, breaking down. That's noon, Lord's time zone. We will be breaking it down live. So if you're at lunch right now, we'll plan on hanging out with lunch at me and Tambo tomorrow, you motherfathers. It has been real, guys. I've had fun. I think it went relatively well with the new streaming system. We'll have to see. Good luck tonight. All you people on my website, 5 o'clock tonight, we will be doing the live stream over behind the paywall. Adios, amigos.